Very good morning, children. As we have completed explanation portion of the chapter titled Development from Economics. So now I am just giving you a keynotes that the points which you have to be remembered after completion of chapter, and then I will give you the remaining exercise question as your homework. As in part 3, the little bit of a keynote I am giving to you, that first of all, that development. What is development? Development is also known as progress. When we say that we are developing, it means we are in progress. So other synonyms you can use for development as progress. Now, further important term, each person has his own aspiration and desires about what he would like to do and how he would like to be spend his life, in terms of that how much he wants to explore or develop, as we all are different in our personal aspiration or the needs or the goals for development. Now next, what are the different kind of people, that why they are having the different development goals. For example, that a landless rural labor sets his development goals as follows. That when we say that everybody's development goal are different, so we can understand it that the labor which is not having his or her personal land, then what can be the utmost important development goals for him, that for him, for a land as rural labor, the development goals can be included a more days of work and better wages, local schools and ability to provide quality education for his children, no social discrimination at any cost, and leadership in the village, etc. are the basic utmost important development goals for a landless rural people or laborers. Now, further in the chapter, the important thing is that there are two types of development goals. First, related to economic good, and second, non-economic goals. So when we say economic goals, so in economic goals for development involves high income, regular employment and better wages, etc. When we say non-economic goals for development, it involves the equal treatment, freedom, security, respect for others also. So in this way, we divide the development goals in two broad categories. First is economic goals and second is non-economic goals. Next, that income is most important component of development. Yes, if we want to identify that the country, how much a nation has developed or how much the country people has been developed, then we observe their income. Okay, now that's why income is the most important factor or component to measure the development. Another thing is that individuals seek different goals and thus their notion of national development is also likely to be different, as I have discussed with you, that as they were different in their priority to be developed in future, that's why their motions and their notions to develop the country also different. Now, to make comparison among various countries, their notion income and per capita income, their national income and per capita income is considered as a base point. Per capita income is a good measure to make a comparison between two countries. The average income is also called per capita income. Okay, so we call per capita income average income of a nation. What is a formula to measure the per capita income of a nation? So here is formula, student, that per capita income is equal to total income of a country divided by the total population of the same country. Then we get the average income of a nation, and then we compare it with the measured development goals index, and then we give them the ranking of underdeveloped, developing and developed countries. Okay. Then in the chapter, another important thing, that according to the per capita income criterion, India comes in the category of low middle country. So India ranked as a low middle country. It means we are developing country, we are not totally developed and we are not still underdeveloped. Now the other criteria important. The other criteria of comparing two states or countries are, now what after the per capita income, what are the other component or criteria on which we apply in the various state of a nation to count that how much one state has been developed than other. These are, first is infant mortality rate, it is also known as IMR, then literacy rate, then net attendance ratio, it means NAR, then Human Development Index HDI, and other available facility are the basic criteria to judge the country on the basis of their economic growth or the states. Now, in detail, what is infant mortality rate, student? It is the death of an infant before his or her first birthday. It is the number of infant deaths for every 1000 live birth. So, it is the number of children which already dies before their first birthday celebration. Okay, and we count it as a number of infant deaths for every 1000 live birth. Okay, now what is literacy rate? Literacy rate, the percentage of population aged 15 years and over who can both read and write with understanding a short simple statement his or her everyday life. So as how we can count the literacy rate of any country, that literacy means that they can at least read and write and they can do the simple calculation which is essential for survival in their life. So such type of people who can read and write properly, who can understand written material in Hindi, and then they can also do the basic you can say basic mathematics rules in their day-to-day life, they are known as literate people. It is also show that how much a country is developed in terms of their literacy rate. Then net attendance ratio is also the another component or criteria to measure the state's development. Now, it is the percentage of the population aged 6 to 10 attending school as a percentage of total number of children in the same age group. So, we count that how many people, how many children which age belong to the 6 to 10 years, they are attending the school, village and towns, so that we can count them that what is the net attendance ratio of the age group student from 6 to 10. Okay, this give us the data about the net attendance ratio. Now, the last, Human Development Index HDI, it is measured by the average achievement in three basic dimensions of human development, that is long and healthy life, education and decent standard of living. So when we observe that in a nation how many people are healthy and what is the maximum age by which the people live in a country, survive without any disease, and then how much educated they are and how the standard and the quality life they are living, it also become one criteria to measure one state development on the basis of Human Development Index. It is a little bit of notes regarding your chapter development, as it is a very easy chapter. I hope you will make these notes in your fair notebook, and then it will be easy to revise in examination that what is all about the chapter. These are some important, very important key points of the chapter. Then we will do the remaining NCERT questions of this chapter. These questions are remained, students, as I have given you exercise 1 to question number 9 in the previous videos homework. I hope you have done, because these are the objective question. It takes very less time, and then from question number 4 to 9 are the short answers. So it was not a lengthy homework. Now in the next video your questions are part 3rd. The earth has enough resources to meet the needs of all, but not enough to satisfy the greed even one person. It is related, and I have discussed it in the previous chapter, which was also about the development in your geography, that how is this statement relevant to the discussion of development discuss. As I have discussed you that it was a quotation which was given by the Mahatma Gandhi ji, and you have to just give your own opinion on the basis of that, and how much overuses of resources is going around us for a long period of time, and why it has to be said that there is enough to satisfy everybody need, but there is not enough to satisfy one person greed. So whenever there will be excess, there will be a damage and disaster in our life, and which we are suffering in terms of so many global challenges, that you can see over excess of industrialization, global warming, population increasing, so that's why we are facing these hazards in our life. So you have to come up with your own words, and the words limit, these are all long question. Next, that list few example of environment degradation that you may have observed around you. So here you have to come up with your own surrounding, that you have to make a list that how much and in which area you have noticed as a environmental degradation. Okay, you have seen that green forests are cutting down. Okay, anything, you have to come up with your own answer. Next, for each of the items given in the table 1.6, fixed out which country is all the top and which is at the bottom. Okay, now they have given the question based on the table, you have to do it. They have given the points also. So these will be your this videos regarding homework, which I hope you will do, and it is necessary to do it. That they have given the table state Kerala, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, then they have given the male percentage and female percentage of all state. That following table shows the proportion of undernourished adults in India. It is based on a survey of various states for the year 2005 and 6. The facts are so many years back. Look at the table and answer the following question. So they are the people of percentage which are undernourished. It means they were not having proper nutritious food and they were not healthy. First question, compare the nutrition level people in Kerala and Madhya Pradesh. You can see in Kerala, male are in less number, and Karnataka more male are undernutritious, and the same Karnataka the female are also having the great number. If we compare with Kerala, the 36%. So it means that Karnataka is lagging behind in undernourished men and women. Then can you guess why around 1/3 of people in the country are undernourished, even though it is argued that there is enough food in the country? Describe in your own words. It is very good answer, student, and I want that you personally deal with the question that if it is sad that there is sufficient food in the country, then why some people are not having one time meal within our country, where there is a challenge, where there is a problem? Okay, so you have to develop your answer in a very authentic manner, not a fictitious story. If you are for such type of question, if you are quoting something, then you have to give the facts and figure also with the proper references. It is not the imaginary question and just like a story based question. You have to come up with the facts and detail. Okay, so in such question you need to do more research and then you have to give your answer. Only then your answer will be acceptable in the examination. Okay, till then take care. God bless you.